kids, have you ever seen one of these kind of phones? It's a really old-fashioned phone. In fact, I bet that your great-grandparents and your grandparents and maybe even your parents have used a phone that looks like this. I'm not that old, I don't think I am, but I remember as a child using a phone like this. And it doesn't store any telephone numbers like your mobile phone does. In your mobile phone, you just press on the person's name and up comes their number and you dial it. It's easy. Not like this. With this, you used to have a book, a special book that you would put everybody's names and numbers in, and you'd have to look it up, and you have to spend time writing them in there in the first place. You also used to get a book through the post from the local telephone company with everybody's names and telephone numbers who lived locally. And you used to get yellow pages with all the business numbers in. And then to use the phone, you had to pick up the receiver and wait until you get a dialing tone. You would turn the numbers on the phone and wait. You'd have to go all the way around, wait for it to go back, go to the next number, go all the way around, wait for it to go back, and finish until you dialed the whole number. Then you had to wait for it to connect and ring, and then you talk to somebody. You could be living in Peterborough and phone your grandparent in London or the South Coast or wherever. But you know what? Heaven is a lot further away than Peterborough. Heaven is even further away than Australia, which you can reach using a telephone. But you can talk to God at any time. You don't need a telephone to pray to God. Jesus teaches us today that he wants us to pray daily. He wants us not just to look like we're really holy and spiritual and pretend like we're praying, but he wants us just to stay in touch and have a relationship with him. And the best thing about a relationship is communication. The most important thing to build a good relationship is communication and talking. How do you build a friendship with your friends? You talk to them and you communicate with them. And God wants us to do that with him too. We can pray in all different kinds of ways. We can pray by kneeling down on the ground. We can pray standing up. We can pray when we're sitting at our desk at school. You could just say a quiet prayer inside. If you've got a problem happening at school, you can pray when you're out playing on the playground. We can pray at the dining room table before we have our dinners. We can even pray when we're laying in bed at night. God is always listening, and he wants us to talk to him. He wants us to build a relationship with him. So let's make it a daily habit and make sure we're growing closer to God. Jesus gave us some really good advice about praying. He said that praying is not to show off. He said that praying was to build a relationship. He's not concerned with the words that we use, but he wants to know what's going on in our hearts. He wants us to be humble and take time in secret to speak to him and make him number one in our lives. You see, God really cares so much more about what's going on the inside of us than what's going on the outside. As our memory verse reminds us today, he will reward what we do in secret. So kids, let's spend some time this week, go to a secret place and have a little conversation with our God. See you soon.